title of this message today is Secrets of Self-Mastery. And I would like to start with a question today. And that question is, what do you think you came to the planet for? What was your purpose for coming to this earth? Before we came into this life, we had an intention. We came to experience that which we came to experience. And without this prescription, we would not even attempt to come into this planet Earth. One item on this prescription was written in a code. And not only was it written in a code, it was encrypted, causing it to become a secret. Investigations reveal that the secret was how to be the great master of ourselves. This is the whole reason we choose our parents, the parents that we have. This is the reason why we choose the location where we live. This is the reason why we are surrounded by the people we are surrounded with, both blood relatives and friends. There was a core imprint, a heart print, if you will, or so to speak, that you came to experience. However, an ironically in particular idea, very peculiar idea surround this phenomenon. That thing that is supposed to be your big purpose on the planet positions itself within an opposing faction. So let us say, for example, you came to experience peace. Then peace is going to be enfolding itself inside of everything that is not peace. That means war is a must. The thing is that the law dictates that a breakthrough has to take place before the substance or purpose can be exposed and experienced. And we know that the substance of spirit is love, life, peace, power, beauty, joy, and wisdom. So the people who have become experts in the art of breakthroughs are true masters. You see, we came into this contrasting experience of life on this earthly plane fully well knowing what we were coming into, knowing that we must experience the opposite of what we're aiming for. Our awareness of our such hidden occurrence become our core shadow archetype. So if you came with the desire to be affluent, to acquire an abundance of money, and to live lavishly on this earth, then you're going to manifest, hardwired within your very being, grossly appalling despicableness of poverty and lack and limitation. You see, the substance for money is joy. Therefore, until you hit that spot and make that breakthrough into the realm of joy, then affluence, prosperity, and abundance does continue to elude you. It is your signature, your soul print, to find and play out that shadow archetype and transform or integrate, if you will, into the light, or turning away far enough from it and pedal towards the light side of your being. The best ways that these shadow archetypes play out is in your relationships, within your encounters with other people in your lives. And so we might get upset with each other and we think, oh, I ought to break up with Mr. So-and-so. He is nothing but a you-know-what. So we pack our bags and we leave, just so that we can get away from Mrs. So-and-so. We move to Europe, we move to Canada, we move to Alaska. We form new relationships with different people. We say, man, I finally met the right person with whom I should marry. But the funny thing is, if we think that we are getting into a new and different relationship, we are have another thing coming. Because what we don't realize is that it is a one relationship that keeps on repeating everywhere we go. Just step back into your memory a little and pull up a picture of those people you have encountered over the years. All those people are the same one, just clothed in different outfits, different garments, different skin colors, different ethnicity, different dialects, or even different languages. So as to give ourselves that refreshed reason to try and make a clean start. And we have to use such things to find out what on earth are we doing here. So let's say your mandate was arriving on this earth at this time to express loyalty. Then your negative or shadow energy is going to be betrayal or disloyalty. And so over and over, you will discover that your best friend has betrayed you. Your husband or wife has betrayed you. Your children, your sisters, your brothers are disloyal to you. Your dependable colleagues at work will do that for you. These negativities, these shadow archetypal energies are happening because they are the door openers. They are the way showers, the breaking points to the very thing that we have come to master. These people who you have called into your life are doing exactly what you both agreed to happen. And that is to reflect you, to show you to yourself. And they are going to continue to do this dance around you to the music of disloyalty and betrayal because they are the catalyst to your success in this life. Mastery of self has many components, and these components, which we choose to call secrets here today, are really open secrets. They have all been revealed time and time again, all of which are very, very important to our life purpose. And so today, I'm going to hone in on 3 of them. The first open secret is your personal development. It is paramount. It overrides everything. Watching TV is great for keeping up with the happenings of the world. However, do not allow it to dominate your life. The same is true for Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. In addition to your regular Sunday or Saturday celebration service or church service, you may need to join a group or have one-on-one sessions with an elder or a coach. It matters not how it is done. The fact is, if you want to achieve self-mastery, if you want to be great, if you want to advance to and maintain your mastership, you will find time to be part of a fellowship that happens at least twice per week. Because personal development bridges that gap between self-limitation and self-expression. So right now, if you're still at home doing it yourself, you're standing on the opposite side of your breakthrough to the other side of your purpose. When the scriptures say, do not ignore the fellowship of the brethren, it did so because we were never created to be alone. While it is a wonderful idea to read a book by yourself and absorb the content laid out in there and asking Spirit to reveal some things to you based on what you read, it does not mean you never ever become part of a gathering where you have the distinct opportunity to participate in discussion, to bounce ideas off each other. This exchange have proven to be highly beneficial for everyone. There is so much more that can be learned, especially when it appears that the ideas are contrary to yours. Therein lies the power, right there in that controversial theory. That wakes you up. That has you go do some research. You go do some more investigation into these ideas. That has you going into inquire when you lead the meeting, consulting with experts in the field. You start to dig. And by digging, You excavate something. And by taking all these steps, by taking all these actions, you are building up the self. You are tiptoeing into mastery. I was part of a writers group that Reverend Michelle Senegal spearheaded on becoming excellent writers and authors. And we were learning that we were learning what it means to edit and publish. We were exposed to different writing styles and looked at the history of writing and some of the leading authors, poetry writing and short story writing, screenwriting, documentary style writing, took us to various parts of the world. Art and music and spirituality were all in the mix. Of course, the group is no longer active. However, what I gained was phenomenal. I can now sit through 2 to 3 hours of a writing session without feeling unsettled. It was truly a remarkable experience and a breakthrough for me because I was grappling with that very thing. Know also that by being part of a group, you're connected at the heart. Lead with your heart, the song said. We experience each other through the heart because essentially we are one. Our hearts truly beat as one. It is the heart that teaches the mind the true nature of reality. Our ideas, our desires start filtering its way through the heart at first, and then navigate its way up to the mind into what we call our understanding. You are now at the threshold of mastering the self. So, turn to your master self and lean into it. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Our next open secret is to develop your willpower. Ernest Holmes says the office or the responsibility of the will is to choose, to decide, to deliberately exercise volition. One of the meanings of volition is the power to consciously select. We have no shortage of the substance of willpower. Will is in abundant supply. All we have to do is to call on it. Our job is to direct it, not to compel it, only to permit it, to allow it to flow where it is directed to. Will follows the direction of strong desire and action. But how strong is your desire? How badly do you want that thing? There are some schools of thought that purport that the will may be developed and strengthened by practice. So here's the thing. It is the mind that really needs the training so as to exercise and direct the will properly. And so the key component to developing the will is in training our mind in the art of concentration. Do you know what the role of concentrated thought plays in your life? The book New Thought, Terms and Meaning describes concentration as engaged in thinking upon a certain idea, shutting out every thought that does not coincide with our desire. It is of utmost value to learn how to concentrate. That is, if you want to harness self-mastery. To be successful at anything, we must know how to focus our entire attention on that one idea or thing. What we do is to engage in continuously practicing intelligently, training our minds to make the best use of the will and allowing the willpower to demonstrate through it. If you truly want to break open the shell of limitation you're engulfed in, so that you can jump to the next level to realize your purpose, you cannot be discouraged if at first you can't hold your attention on the thing for very long. It takes weeks, sometimes months of practicing. Practice it, and practice it, and practice it some more. When we learn to concentrate consciously by engaging in these regular practices, we will develop this fantastic power beyond the shadow of any doubt. One of the faculties or beatitudes mentioned in scripture is that of self-control. You are better able to exercise self-control and govern yourself from a position of power when you can concentrate on one thing for a considerable period of time until you achieve a desired result. Concentration involves control over the mind as well as the body. When you gain control over your body, you will have control over your mental faculties. But when we allow our mind to consistently wander and move from hills to valleys and from pathways to highways and from food to tree trunk, your self-control is in serious question. When you feel promptings from your lower vibrations, such as nervousness, anger, sarcasm, bullyism, sorrow, jealousy, revenge, guilt, or shame, they all diminish your power to concentrate. And you eventually get to the place of a loss of power. And you stay at a loss of power until you regenerate, until you recollect or refill yourself. There are ways in which to gain control over the mind as well as the body. When you feel these energies approaching, just stand up and take that victory pose, whatever that pose may look like. Fill your mind with your God self and draw inspiration from it. Back in the day when I was in college in Jamaica, I put myself into a study group. I realized after the first year that those people who were studying together were passing the exams in flying colors. It was not so much of a requirement in high school. However, in college, the challenges were greater, and the passing grade did not arrive so easily for me. So I learned very quickly that a focus group is the answer, where we spend considerable time concentrating on the given subject, and we bend our will when we learn to center our mind on one transaction or one subject at a time. Knowing that my ultimate purpose in this life is to be a teacher, a mentor, a minister, I must make that breakthrough of achieving my purpose through mastery, passing those exams, and gaining my degree. In Reverend Alma's Monday night class, we regularly have practice sessions and concentration exercises that powers the will. The will makes us masters of our faculties, our talents, and our abilities. This is a secret of the will. It is the door opener, the way maker, the pathfinder. In one of our Glowing Masters class, the exercises was given to our attendees as an assignment to find that thing that you dislike doing and go do it. This helped to train your mind to have the will to move on a smooth pathway to establishing the things we most desire. When we conquer that thing we do not like to do, it has no more power over us. The self is now in a position of power. There were astonishing testimonies to the impact of that exercise. Concentration, willpower, or grit will have you take down a 19-foot wall that is blocking your flow towards your desire. And if the only thing you have to start with is a small hammer, then you hammer away. You hammer through the shoulder pain. And while you pause to take a drink, you look around and there's someone with a sledgehammer. And after days of hammering, you were afforded a backhoe. And then after that, a bulldozer arrived. It was only a matter of time. And that wall must come down. And now you have had the breakthrough to advance to the next level. Now we turn to your master self and just lean into it. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Now the next secret that we wish to share is to do everything in a great way. Barring nothing, no matter how small, one of the most well-kept secrets in the world is the idea of how thoughts turn into things. From the book The Science of Being Great, Wallet D. Wassel said, "There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought, planted or impressed into this substance, produces the thing that is imagined by the thought. He continues to say that you and I can form things with our thoughts, and by impressing these thoughts upon a formless substance can cause the thing we think about to be created. Needless to say, this formless substance is God. So if a small seed is planted in this God stuff, then a small stuff is reaped. If every small deed is done to the point of impeccability, then impeccability is what we must reap. Whatever you reap is what you have sown. Greatness is attained by the habitual thought or holding the mental atmosphere of being great. Embrace the idea of thinking big and take the big leap. Forming a new corporation, building the next economy car, graduating with your master's degree or PhD, running for president. Entertain huge ideas and watch the creative intelligence at work. You will be amazed at what transpires. Get into the genius quality that you know you have and embrace your superpower. This superpower is your permanent ability to restart, to re-engineer, to refill, or to recover. It gives you the courage to rise. I can feel the love oozing from my sister Patricia when she talks about her superpower. Spirit woman, she says. And I can feel my own energy surging up to 900 when I call on my divine empress. Knowing that this superpower is the creative power in us, knowing that there is only one and that you are it, knowing that you and the Father are one. So if everything is one, then everything is me, and everything is within me. If everything is one, then everything is you, and everything is within you. With that knowledge, then we can't hold anyone in contempt anymore. We can't hold anyone in a place of unforgiveness anymore. We can't hold anyone hostage anymore, because then, in truth and in fact, what we are doing is holding ourselves in contempt, or as hostage, or in unforgiveness. We cannot be masters if we're holding on to trivialities. We can do all things through the creative force which is working inside us, and we can do it in a great way. But the creative force cannot do both at the same time. To have a great thing in hand does not mean that it's acquired overnight or with one stroke of a pen. There are many times when I swing my bat and missed. And not only did I miss the ball, I topple and I fall, landing upside down with my bat thrown to the side. I get up, brush off myself, and wobble back to the batting marker and position myself to swing my bat again. We took a giant step in the last few weeks in launching the charity arm of this furtheraglow enterprise, which you know as Furtheraglow now. It has been dormant for quite a while. However, we kept working at it, ever so often. We are active, and we keep doing things, the small things, in great ways. We are now officially a 501c3 nonprofit, which is here to serve the unattached youths, providing them with opportunities to be writers, entrepreneurs, stage performers, public speakers, and community leaders, offering them training in computer skills, job interview tactics, and the like, also in personal development, and making sure that they are properly fed and clothed and have adequate school supplies. It took us a while to break through to this point, thanks to Dr. Millie Johnson, she's here on the call today, for her skills and experience, and to my executive board and of directors who have been journeying with me through the rough spots. I think all of them are here also on the call today. What if we just decide to be that thing and become it? What if we just choose what to do and just do it? What if we are the only one here that just defying these odds? There are times when I'm sitting inside the boundaries of the limitations of what Further Aglow now could look like and what kind of difference we could have made in the world. Sitting on my prescription, completely unaware of my code and what it was even, and that it was even encrypted. Sitting there thinking that I might just hang tight. I might take a moment and sit here and the right thing will arrive soon. You know, like I'm waiting on a bus at the bus stop. I was believing that the right time was somewhere out there in the future. At that time, not knowing that the future is now. It was an illusion that I would be laughed at, or that I was not qualified, or that I was not worthy as a Caribbean woman, or I was moving too fast. Oh, dare me move fast in this life. Big challenges, virtually no answers. Going through this life of entangling with the opposite is like facing that 19-foot wall with a tiny hammer. I was afraid of the unknown, and how was I going to know what I don't know? Scripture said, study to make yourself approved. And gaining knowledge is always a good thing. However, when we learn to plant our thoughts in the God stuff, when we enlist in programs that teach us how to write spiritual mind treatments, when we seek out and observe the fellowship with the brethren, the mentors, life will unfold and bend and ignite your soul and take you places where you could only dream of going. Even though the very thing that leads us to the doorway is a thing that irritates us, we have to know that that was a plan all along. And so we are going to be in constant movement all day long towards the gateway of our oneness. And when we get into oneness, we know we are into the truth. When you know the truth about who you are and whose you are, spirit woman, spirit man, divine empress, as light bearers, as practitioners, then the winning formula is guaranteed. When we commit to living in a world of love, we fall in love with the idea that everything is a one awareness moving upward into itself. And I am that. So let us know ourselves as beings of superpower. So turn to your master self and lean into it. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And in closing, there are several other open secrets that does have the function of moving us into the space of self-mastery. Gratitude is one of them. And the next one is using your imaginations to just picture yourself in a new way. Use your affirmative prayer, your grace therapy. Know that it is the experience of life that teaches, not words. Let people be where they are. And to master your fears. And remember that you are as good as the best of them. You have all the strength you need to do and be whatever you are. Thank you. And so it is, and so we let it be. Are you holding on to that master self that you are? I'm listening. I am listening.
I will start with gratitude, and I'm so grateful for you sharing that with us today. Grateful part in your knowledge. Thank you very much. So you asked a question in your beginning talk. What did we come here to do? And I didn't have an answer. You also spoke of a lot of example that was really talking about me, and I'm like, why are you exposing my business? Why are you talking about me? But as I kept listening before I got bumped off, as I continued to listen, it became clearer to me usually it doesn't happen all in one setting. I would hear, I would process, and then it would become clear. But it didn't take long for me to understand what is it I come here to do. And I am experiencing it, as you rightfully said. What you come to experience, you will experience. But what made it clear to me was when those archetypes, when you said is what you resist. I thought they were against me. I ignored them. I tried to get rid of them because I didn't know they were there to help me. And so I know exactly what I'm resisting. I know exactly what I'm fighting and I don't want to do. And so it became clear to me that's what I'm being called to do, and I'm being leading, guiding back to that thing. So yeah, it become clear. And so I appreciate that. And I want to listen to this again. Hopefully it's on YouTube very soon. So, so what I missed during the time I fall off, I can go back to. And it's just the awareness, just having that awareness. Now that I know when that resisting come up, I'm just gonna embrace it and do the thing that I'm resisting. So I appreciate you very much. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you. Remember, what you resist, it persists, because that is what is at the forefront of your thought. So you're gonna run with that always. What you're trying to run away from, it's gonna just run with you. So if you change your attitude, your behavior, your thoughts, and run with what you want instead, then those will come alongside you. Thank you. Thank you for your sharing. Thank you for being vulnerable.
Good morning,
Good morning.
everyone. As you know, in my sharing from other groups, I come to church for inspiration, affirmation, confirmation. And this morning I got all three, and I thank you very much. I was
Wow.
pleased. You confirmed my work towards my mastery. You confirmed my methods for working towards my mastery, and you confirm the questions that I have for myself of what am I here for. And so, I know I'm supposed to continue to ask those questions until I know for certain. I think I have an idea, but as I said, I think I know, but I don't know. And so I'm working towards that. And this morning, your message helped me to well, it confirmed that it's all right not to know, but to continue on the path. I thank you for the message, and I can go back and revisit.
And regroup and reassess so that you can refill. Yes, and it's of course it's a continuous work. It's a continuous journey. Reverend Michelle or Reverend Alma, Reverend Glenn, all of those will tell you that they're still there. They're still on the path. They're still working toward. They're still trudging. So yes, it will come. However, it may not come in a hurry. May not come at the speed at which you want, but it's coming. It's there.
One of the things that occurred to me was the best question someone could ask anyone else. And that would be, who are you, Joan? Who are you? It's a challenging question. It is who you think you are as an identity. It gets you to think about answering. How would you answer that question? If somebody knocked on your door and said, who are you really?
Yeah. How would you answer that question, Joan?
Well, I've worked on it all my life. And I think you hit on one of the most important principles that has guided my life. And that is, we are all one. And in order for me to be of service, that's my job as far as I'm concerned. I came here to serve. In order to be of service in that role to others, I cannot be of service until I understand who I am. And so if I don't explore who I am first, and get at the shadow work and get at the inner child work and the spiritual work and the group work and the trainings, and you know the whole story yourself. I can't claim to be of service to anyone until I understand who I am fully and embrace that. I have I have a little sign on my stove which I hang up periodically, signs to guide me. And the sign I like recently is, I am that I am. I am that I am, but I'm not alone. And that is the best piece, because whenever I get off track, I can always ask for help from the Holy Spirit. And he puts me back on track immediately. Yeah. I will give you one example of me being put back on my heels, okay? I was at an Al-Anon meeting once a long time ago, and it was my first visit. And of course, I was there for a purpose. And then I heard a woman say, I have a purpose in being here for many years. I thought I was going to help my husband stop drinking, but I understood after coming here that I was a lot sicker than he was. And that opened my eyes. I said, oh my goodness, I can't be here to help anyone with any kind of a problem until I look at my own psyche and my own illness, and being conditioned being here for such a long time with false ideas about myself and false information, so on and so forth. So I'll leave it there. We're all one, but we can't serve until we understand ourselves first.
I want to make a comment on that, Joan, about can't serve until you understand yourself. One thing that I understand is, yes, Patricia is applauding, is that you can go ahead and do things by rote. Was it Emerson or Ernest Holmes says, just do the thing by rote, just do it. Nike says, just do it. And by doing the thing, by engaging in the action aspect of it, somewhere along the way, I don't know how far or wide, but somewhere along the way, you engage the will, and that will help to propel you towards, finally knowing yourself and fulfilling all of those things that you think that you need to fulfill. But doing the thing, just doing it, does march you along far, 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 way ahead on the road until you reach that point of, oh yes, this is who I am. I am God eternal within this body. I am one with the Christ. I'm one with God. Yes, and Gay says, thank you very much for your gems of wisdom. Thank you for listening in, Gay.
Just wanted to thank you. Your talk today was fabulous, and I loved it. And it's already got me thinking a lot about my prescription that I came here with, and that perhaps the things I've most experienced the opposite of is what I'm looking for as my prescription. And I also really liked your take on when we're criticizing other people for things like betraying or lack of peace or other actions, that those people are people we had a contract with to come into our lives and be a part of that experience with us so that we can be the greatness that we're meant to be. So that's a really nice perspective on how to think about it when we're criticizing others.
Yes. Thank you for that. And Joan did make the point that she doesn't think that she should lead until you know, but listen, there's a point at which, as I said, it will be revealed to you. And when we don't know, even for people who have gone through studies and gained degrees and all kind of accolades, some still don't realize that when you meet upon that despicableness, when you meet upon the controversy, when people are picking at you and trying to scratch out your eyes, It's that the doorway is right there for you to move through, especially in unforgiveness. You want to hold that person, put a gun to their head and hold them there and say, if you don't apologize. No, it's for you. It's for you to know that that is the doorway into that big old wide world for you to explore and just be the God. Just enhance the God that you are.
Oh, you're making me laugh because I love what you just said about finding difficult people in your life. And one of the things that I learned to do to help that situation is, first of all, I thank the Holy Spirit for sending that person into my life so that I can learn how much unforgiveness I still may have within me and judgmental of attitude. And that person is a gift to me in which I can thank the Holy Spirit or whoever sent that person with such gratitude because that is helping me.
Yes.
So I just wanted to contribute. That helps me a lot when I say
Thank
thank
you.
you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Beautiful.
Yeah, as when Jones spoke earlier, what came to my mind was when Jesus was with his disciples and he asked them, "Who do you say I am?" So that inner knowing is so important, knowing really who you are, because for me, knowing kind of propels me. When I know, it's like I'm gonna keep going. But when I don't know, I'm seeking and stuff, I'm looking. So I appreciate again your counseling on keep going even when you don't know. So I can't wait to when we finish here, I just have someone to call to go
Yes,
on,
ma'am.
and I am going to recreate all this to them and
Yeah.
make sure they go on to the YouTube channel because they have, I wish they were here. And that's why it's so important to bring a friend because you never know what you learn. So
Never
yeah.
know.
And so again, just adding to what Andrea and Joan said, um, nobody resenting others who I thought were just being against me, but I know I made a contract with them, so it's more appreciation. And again, gratitude just show up all over the place.
Right.
Grateful,
Yeah.
to them.
Thank you. And I think that's one of the greatest barriers, if I can dare to say that, to our relationship and how we advance in this world, is that when something despicable is happening, we tend to look at the person, not at the situation and not at ourselves, by asking, so someone betrayed you, you know, you told them something and they go bust it out in the open. They went on Front Street with it. Rather than seeking them out to, curse them out, you turn to yourself and says, where in me? What's in my consciousness? What's in my awareness that's causing things to be exposed that I don't wish to be exposed? What is going on in me? The answer might not come right away. I mean, generally it doesn't come right away, but eventually it will reveal itself at some point. The important thing is just not to attack people when they're angry at you or they're doing something that you think that is, you know, despicable. Thank you so much for your contributions. Any more comments?
Yes. I want to say I enjoyed the message today, and I think you brought us through what the science of mind is, and I just want to say, like, when we say people are upset at us or we're upset at people, usually it's because or not usually, It is because they are reflecting us as we are one. And the part of us that is being reflected, it's so painful for us to acknowledge that that's who we are, or that's what we're doing, or that's an area of our lives that we need to look into, you know. And so, oh, I'm upset at that person. Oh, you're just upset at yourself because it's showing to you the area of your life that you need to address, you know.
Address.
So thanks for the reminder, and
Yes.
you know,
Balancing
continue
those
to
energies.
to
Thank
stir
you.
these aspects to us.
Thank you. And I must say, over these years, or it's almost 100 years now that we've been together, there are so many things that you show me that shoot, sometimes I didn't want to see them. However, you know, I go through it until I see with my inner eye and hear with my inside ear what is really happening. And it's all me. It's all me. I called you into my life, you called me into yours. And this teaching certainly helped us to strengthen our relationship in our children and in our grandchildren. Thank you so much. Thank you for being you. Any more
Hey,
comments? Yes.
good morning.
Time
Good
is up. Good
morning.
morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Totally back on what Ashley was talking about us. The whole thing for me, how I see it is, we are spiritual. We're all are, and
Yes.
sometimes some people show up in our life, and you say, I don't understand why I can't. Just something about that person I can't stand. Just something about this person that I can't deal with. But real in fact is the spirit in me is talking to the spirit in you. And if we pay attention, we will see it. And like we all have been discussing, is that we're here to show each other up. So we're on a journey.
Yes.
And we're on a journey. And for me, what I've been doing lately, something comes up before me, or for some reason, someone does something. I say, God, what is the lesson in this for me? What are you trying to tell me? Because I know there's something there. Because whatever shows up in my life, I created it. I'm a part of that. It doesn't matter. And if someone is saying something or doing something and it triggers something in me, I gotta go deep, because it means that inside there is something there that is attached to the spirit of that person, and we both are here to help each other out.
Each other.
So
That's right.
I'm really, I love the conversation, and I thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing and being vulnerable. Yes, you created that scene there, and within the germ, within the seed of the prescription of the core, therein lies that thing, and it's just for you to tap into that, knock on that door, break that shell, and just discover what that thing is, because it's there. It's there, and if you want to know bad enough, you will know. I mean, sometimes it's not even absolutely necessary to know. You maybe just continue from where you are. However, it is just a good thing to question yourself, turn within. Turn within. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you so much, as always. Such great learning, and I love the sharing that we do, because we're all learning from each other and everyone's life and examples. And several times when things you said, I was sitting here smiling, because it sort of felt like, oh, she's talking to me. But of course, I know that we probably all feel that way, because what you were saying was really, really universal to all of us. And I want to make a comment about when you said, we can get certificates and degrees and all kinds of things like that, because I did that in my earlier years and was so focused on that. And then when I finally stopped going to school, regular school, I realized that was when my true learning began, was when I, quit going for this certificate and that degree and started taking, all the classes in spiritual. That was when my true learning really, and then that's what I have continued to do since then. And I just love that. And a comment about, the people in our lives. I sometimes, every once in a while, when I get really overwhelmed, I think, oh, I'm going to go live on an island or a mountaintop all by myself. I'm getting away from everybody. I'm just going to sit there and be in nature and be at peace and be by myself. But the truth of it is, if I took out of my life all the people and the difficult experiences that I've had, because I have worked through, I like it that I didn't have like the same experience over and over. Some people tend to have the same over and over. Boy, I didn't. I sort of had the smorgasbord, but I'm actually very grateful for that, because when a new situation, like an alcoholic, like a mentally ill, whatever, whenever this different stuff came into my life and someone that I was close with, then my thing was, okay, go learn. Then I would take classes, then take classes to learn what I'm dealing with and to understand. And when I went to Al-Anon, this was years ago, I went, thank goodness at that time, there wasn't really anyone in my life that was causing me a problem with alcohol, but I went because I wanted to understand, from what had happened before. I'm always seeking to understand. So I sometimes think maybe that's like a main theme in this lifetime, is understand this, understand that, because it just seems to, have been the thread that just keeps, coming in. But it has really been my gifts. What a boring life I would have had, without these people, and the difficult situations often that they were in, but that I was a part of.
Right.
So,
Very well said.